Welcome back to another episode of Revolutionary Girl Utena. So in the previous one we had a bit of a recap episode, right? But it was still a fun one. We saw a bit more of Tsuwabuki, and most of the recap episode was focusing on Nanami, right? And kind of like Tsuwabuki's strategies to get Nanami to like him and look his way and stuff like that. Interesting stuff, but at the end of the day, it was just a fun way to show a recap of those really funny episodes. But now I feel like we're gonna be continuing on with the story in this, third core, right? Technically speaking. So I saw the comments on the previous episode talking a bit more in depth about the entire thing that happened, right, with Nemuro or Mikage, right? So the entire thing, and I saw a really interesting thing talking about how, you know, the end of the world or Akio used this, like these sacrifices and also Nemuro's memories and like the potential of people and stuff like that as fuel to manifest the arena and the tower or the castle. Some really interesting stuff. I never would have found that out on my own, so it's cool reading the comments of people who actually really dive into the nitty-gritty of everything here. So yeah, cool stuff. But let's see where the story is gonna go, because at the end we also saw that it was Himemiya who was playing the role of Mamiya, right, for Akio, or on behalf of Akio, which was also interesting. Yeah, let's find out what's gonna happen next. So, if you wanna watch this, Uncut Blood is always on my page in the description, and let's go into Revolutionary Girl Utena, episode 25. Akio? Nope. Yes? That eternal apocalypse. Wait, this feels like it's gonna be a big episode here. What's happening? Okay. That's a new place. He's working his magic. You tried your best, Wakaba. Oh, he does not like that. I don't think he likes her becoming her own person, huh? Hmm. Isn't Isn't that the entire point of this student council, though, is to work for or on the orders of the end of the world? Isn't that why they're here? It's not like they're doing much like for the academy itself, from what we're seeing here. So. Hmm. Oh, really? Wow. Unless the sun sets, it can never shine. Lucifer. The fallen angel Lucifer. Also, I swear they made Akio's face even sharper than it was before. Hmm. Nope, not there yet. Also, you know what's interesting is Utena says this, right? Be like, come to me first. But if you look at who Utena goes for advice, it's always Akio. It's never Anshi, right? So she wants Anshi to rely on her, but it doesn't seem like Utena relies on Anshi much, right? Which is interesting. I mean, to be fair, there is you could chalk it up to, you know, Anshi's actual personality or the way that she acts, right? She's very subservient and stuff like that, especially like to Utena and stuff like that. So maybe that's the reason Utena maybe wants someone who's equal, like acts as an equal to her, or maybe even someone who might have a bit more authority like Akio. So she wants that opinion from him. Maybe that's why she confides more in him. But yeah, it's kind of hypocritical a bit. For her to be like, hey, I need you to come to me first, but she then doesn't actually return that trust, right? She goes to Akio for advice. Oh. So he's just back now. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
誰かさんはもう決闘を降りるとか言ってるらしいじゃないか。だが少なくとも俺は諦めちゃいないぜ。お前に会わせたい人がいるんだ。会わせたい人？お前だって本当に諦めたわけじゃないんだろう。ほら、聞こえないか。何がだ？君の魂が本当に諦めていなければ、世界の果てを駆け巡る。この音が聞こえるはずだ。何をバカなことを。なんだ？何なんだ？さあ、我らと共にいざなおう。君が望む世界へ。
The world of desire. That was interesting. As long as your heart doesn't give up, you can hear it. It's also interesting that he's just back now, Toga. He's been out of the story for so long. うん。
そう。そして、姫宮アンシーの兄だ。君はバラの花嫁が欲しいか？どういう意味だ？言葉通りさ。君は何が欲しい？何を目指している？何になりたい？そんなことを聞いてどうする？第一僕は貴様のことは信用していない。おいおい、お前は俺のたった一人の友人じゃないか。友情なんてこの世界にはないさ。そうかな。そうさ。
It's what I know.
君は本当にそう思っているのかな？何が言いたい？では、なぜ君はあの永遠があるという城を目指しているんだ？あそこに行けば何か永遠のもの。例えば、永遠の友情とかがあると信じてるからじゃないのか？昔、棺に入っていた女の子のこと覚えてるか？そんなこともあったかな。永遠のものを見たいと言っていた女の子がいただろう。さあ、よく覚えていないな。
Yeah?
あの夜、あの女の子を棺の中から救い出したのは、この秋代さんなんだ。
Oh!
あの女の子は秋代さんに永遠のものを見せられて、救われたのさ。なんだと？あんた一体、何者なんだ？心地いい振動だ。
I mean, that makes sense.
世界の果てを見せてあげよう。君をね。あんたまさか。
Bro has so much aura. Holy shit! Okay, there's a lot that happened here to talk about. So, Akio was... I mean, that makes sense. Now it's confirmed, because I feel like they kind of led us to believe that maybe it was like Toga putting up some kind of plan and him being the one who saved or I guess talked to Utena all the way back then. But it never explicitly showed it to us, right? It was just kind of like hinting towards it. So that's why I always try not to jump to conclusions. And now here we get a confirmation that it was Akio who did it back then. That makes sense, right? It makes sense. Akio's the one, and then they said that he showed her something eternal. Now we don't really know what that is, but my guess would be some kind of like eternal wish, eternal goal that she still has to this day, that she's still chasing, right? She's still chasing the prince or whatever. So maybe that's the eternity that he showed her. He gave her a goal to chase. Either way though. Yeah, that was interesting. I'm not fully sure what I mean by the entire car thing. I feel like the entire car is a symbolism for like something, but yeah, really, Saionji now also knows that he is the end of the world, right? Akio, okay.
やはりご存知ありませんでしたか。それで、その決闘広場への階段がどうなったって？階段
Yeah.
その柱の中にゴンドラのようなものがあるんです。ゴンドラ？
そうだ。そのゴンドラは世界の果てに羽ばたく翼だ。僕とバラの花嫁をあの永遠があるという城に運んでくれる。
西園寺、あなたはもう決闘はしないのでしょ？
残念ながら、もう僕は昨日までの僕とは違う。
どう違うって言うんですか？
わからんのか？
ええ、お前の言ってることはさっぱりわからん。
そうか、わからんか。お前たちに話してもわかるまい。
何をするつもりですか？
Silence is back. This is the good old Silence we know.
大丈夫か？
バラの花嫁は僕のものだ。
姫宮を離せ、西園寺。
He was starting to feel a bit too human in the earlier episodes, you know, with Wakaba and stuff.
かしら？ご存知かしら？今日も裏の森でまた決闘があるんですって。なんか久しぶりね、このフレーズ。やっぱ一人でやるより二人よね。苦しみは半分に、幸せは二倍に。ってちょっとあんた、ゆうべ私のシャンプー勝手に使ったでしょ。あんただって私の食べかけのプリン食べちゃったじゃない。2週間前のだけどね。マジ？さてさて勇者様、二人でやってく難しさ、果たしてあなたはご存知かしら？かしらかしら、ご存知かしら？
Wow, I feel like it's been a while since we heard that line from them. Ooh, wait, is this gonna be a new song? New rendition of the song. For the third cour, I guess. That's an incredible sequence. He really likes this car, doesn't he? Makes him feel cool.
いい加減にしてもらいたいな、先輩。本当に好きなら姫宮の立場になって考えてみろよ。
そう。僕も昔は僕なりにバラの花嫁の気持ちを考えていた。だから熱くもなった。でも今はわかる。バラの花嫁には意志なんてないんだってことがね。
どうしても叩きのめさないとわからないようだね。姫宮、剣を。
Let's see it.
僕はもうお前に負けた僕じゃない。なぜなら、俺はいたからだ。
見た？
そうだ。
何を見たって言うんだ。
世界をだ。
It feels like he got gassed up by Akio and Toga. Like, they gassed him up. Even Akio looked surprised. She helped her. The role reversal. Ooh. Nice. Can you stay down this time, Sionji? That was interesting.
西園寺のやつ、せっかく友達にしてやったの。君はこのゲームを楽しんでいるの？もちろん。ならいいじゃないか。友達には優しくしてやる。悪い人だ。あなたは。
You are quite the evil man.
ディオスの剣が出現しなかった。ディオスの剣が出現しなかった。それでも決闘には勝った。いや、見事だったよ。おいで。安心。遅いな、姫宮。
Nah, yep. Yep. New ending? Okay. A lot to think about, a lot to digest here in this episode. So, I wonder, there's so many things. Okay, Sionji, let's first talk about Sionji. So, it feels like both Toga and the end of the world Akio there were kind of like leading him in a certain direction that they wanted him to go in, right? It didn't feel like they were there to actually help him or anything along those lines. It felt like they had a plan and they wanted Sionji to unknowingly assist them in that plan, right? So they kind of like gas them up and stuff like that. And also Sayonji, he's very much like acting like a kid often. Like the entire car ride, he was like, oh, really, did that happen? I don't remember. Even though obviously he thinks about it so often, he definitely remembers it. He's just kind of like trying to, you know, seem cool and stuff like that, and trying to seem like, oh, that thing that happened, that doesn't bother me. Trying to seem tough. Right, and yeah, they definitely use that, and also Toga, of course, using the friend word to get into his side and stuff like that. Really interesting stuff. It seems like I don't know when Toga, like I don't know what was happening with Toga all this time, and I feel like maybe, yeah, I mean, he's back. He seems like he's pretty much back to how he was before, right? The only difference is that now he's actually actively hanging out with Akio, it seems. I don't know how much he was doing that previously. We haven't seen them together before, but yeah, really interesting stuff. The other thing is Himemiya, right? Himemiya, that's a big thing there. So I think, if I'm reading the situation correctly, I think the reason why the power of Dios didn't work, and maybe I'm misinterpreting the entire situation, but when Utena said, hey, you can come to me for, like, if you ever need anything, this is the kind of friendship that I want, I felt like Utena humanized Anshi to the point where maybe Anshi became less of a tool or something along those lines, because up until this point she's been the tool as a Rose Bride, right? As a sheath to the sword, you know? She's been the power of Dios and stuff like that. She's been housing it, and she's been basically a tool for that, a vessel for it. And even though obviously she, like, Utena did humanize Anshi quite a bit, I feel like that may have been the final straw for Anshi to be humanized to a point where she's maybe less effective as a tool because of it. Maybe, and that's why maybe the power of Dios ended up, you know, dispersing at that moment. Maybe, I don't know though. That feels like a tiny bit of a reach though. Maybe that's not the case. But also we saw like the defiance from, or like at least a glimpse of defiance from Anshi at the end with Akio, right, on her face. But obviously, yeah, we can see what's happening there. It's basically just obviously Akio using his power, using his authority, and obviously viewing Anshi as nothing more than a tool of sorts, right, and a husk. So unfortunate stuff. Yeah, fuck. That was a pretty heavy way to end it, but it's not anything that's too surprising at this point, right? We kind of like piece together the pieces of the puzzle that they've given us. So yeah, but really interesting stuff. I think they talked about like the car being like the motivation or whatever in your heart that you have, the drive in your heart. So cool stuff. But I wonder what's gonna happen next. This definitely feels like another big change up in the entire story. It feels like especially in the past few episodes, apart from the recap one, we've been getting a lot of lore happening. Like obviously the previous episodes were focused on the Black Rose Society, and that kind of arc concluded with the episode 23, I think. And now in this one we are going, it feels like we are finally going into the what might be the final arc, which is going to be the entire arc about probably the castle and what's happening there, Akio, the end of the world, right, the prince, all of those things, like the power of Dios, all of those things, Anshi. So I'm excited for it. Oh, another thing, small thing, is with Utena. As I said earlier, like it feels a bit strange because Utena, the way that she said it, feels like, let's have this sort of friendship, she said, right, Utena. But friendship is a two-way street always, right? And it feels like Utena doesn't really go to Anshi for any kind of like advice or with her problems. It always has been Akio for the past, well, ever since she met him, basically, right? So I wonder, yeah, I wonder what kind of role that's gonna, if it is gonna play any kind of role, because yeah, Akio is the person who Utena asked for advice, and then she told Anshi to come to Utena for advice, and that's the friendship that they want, you know, kind of strange dynamic there, but I guess we'll see where it's gonna go. For now, I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.